Hello. All right, so I've scrolled back like a month, good God, to talk about ER because you said, oh no, Carter is dating a 19-year-old, which is scandalous because he is more than that age. I have no idea how old anyone is. He still is like a tiny baby to me. Right. It was season 7. He probably was, he was a med student. He did 4 years of college and then was a third-year med student, which means he was probably 25 when the show started. So he was probably 32-ish when he was dating Rena. And to be fair, he did not know how old she was at first because she didn't look 19, and, you don't tend to ask. You tend to think, or you don't think of a 19-year-old working at the hospital or whatever. But yeah, no, as soon as he found out, he should have stopped dating her. Then we have Mark and Elizabeth are getting married, and Rachel's stuck in Lake St. Louis, thank God, because I somehow got it stuck in my head that the next time he sees Rachel, it will be for Mark to say goodbye. Yeah, you did get that stuck in your head, didn't you? But yes, they got married. Isn't it wonderful? I love them together. I love them together so much. They're so cute. And Ella. Yes, Ella is born. That was her name. And Mark is teaching Elizabeth how to breastfeed. Oh my God, he's perfect and they are perfect, is what you said, and you are correct. Mark and Elizabeth are so good together, and as you probably know now, I don't know how far you've gotten, so I'm not going to say anything, but, they're just great. They're great, and fucking brain tumor, and so stupid getting to when then she's pregnant, and it's so stressful. All right, is he going to die before she has the baby? Is the baby going to come so premature that he doesn't make it? Is it going to come so premature that she doesn't make it? And then he's stuck to raise a baby while he has a brain tumor, or good God, right? So yeah, it's stressful, but when they get married, and so sweet, and when Ella is born, it's so sweet. It's all so sweet. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. Then you said, why did I get into this show? ER is so stressful. What do you mean there might be an armed gunman going after Elizabeth and Ella and no one is answering the door? I do not remember an armed gunman going after them. I remember there's a dude, and it's a pretty well-known actor, and I can't think of who it is at the moment, but he messes something up as a doctor, except he didn't, or maybe he did. I can't remember if he actually messed something up or if the guy just thought he had, but then he blames Mark, and then he's stalking Elizabeth and Ella. He runs into them at the park, and he's got Ella's baby toy, and it's a whole thing. I did not like that storyline. I felt like Mark and Elizabeth had enough problems, and we did not need to do a stalker storyline. Okay, then you said, so I just finished the 7th season finale of ER, Rampage, and I opened up messages to tell you how I feel, and I just sat here in silence for a good minute or two, because holy shit, Mark just killed a guy in the elevator for threatening his family. I thought he was just going to wait a little bit and think about it and then not be able to save the guy and feel bad about that. But no, he sat there and he shocked the paddles in the air and he watched the guy realize he was killing him. I remember Mark doing this. Again, I don't remember the circumstances. I do not think this thing you're talking about is the guy that was semi-stalking them. I cannot remember that, but I remember Mark doing this. I felt like it was so out of character for him. I did not like it. I feel like it made for good television, but as a person who adored Mark to pieces, I did not like it. You said, I feel like I'm supposed to feel conflicted about this, but damn, yes, that's my guy. In a realistic situation, he would not have been assigned to that guy at all, but yes, you protect your family, baby. I mean, this is true. You protect your family. But I didn't like that Mark was going to carry that guilt around forever. That's what I didn't like, I think. I didn't like it for Mark. Then you said, also, I just put together that Dr. Weaver is a queer disabled representation, and that's awesome. Yes. She's still not my favorite character on the show. I have times when I really like her. When Carter lived with her, I really felt like they showed more of her humanity and empathy when he was living in her basement and everything. I liked that. There are moments when they really show her, but she's also very hard. And I like that in that we don't have to show disabled people as happy and nice all the time. Like, disabled people can be bitches too. But I didn't like that she was always a bitch to my favorite. I guess because when she came in, like, she was kind of a bitch with Mark. Like, I don't know, they grew to be good colleagues, but, on the one hand, hell fucking yes, queer disabled representation. And you know what? Hell fucking yes, that it's just not like the most nice, innocent, happy, disabled person, because we can be fucking assholes, just like anybody else. But as a fan, why she gotta be so nasty to so many of my faves? Of course, I also get, she grew up disabled and she got hard from that. She was a woman and a disabled person trying to make it in a very tough career, and she had to be hard for that. As a person myself who hardened myself very much because of the abuse I took for being disabled and everything, and took years to get over that. Like, I get it, but also sometimes she's mean to my faves. So, let's see. Then you said, I'm on the 8th season premiere now. Several different stories are happening at once, and they are telling the story from one person's POV at a time. I saw Carrie, Peter, and John drinking in the car with his Gamma and his grandfather's funeral, and now Mark is getting a head scan, and I'm going to go get work done because I don't want to hear that his cancer is back right now. I am still, oh my, yes, my man just murdered that abusive father who killed so many people last episode and was going after Elizabeth and Ella. Yeah. Oh, he killed so many people. See, I do not remember this guy. This is not the stalker. This is something else. I do not remember this guy, who this guy is. Anyways, yeah. So, I remember the episode where they told, it was like a day. It was like a 24 hours or something, and every person, each section was a different person. So, yeah, I like that. I wouldn't like a show that did that all the time, but I like every once in a while when they break away from their normal narrative device and do something different. So, yeah. Yeah, Mark's tumor's back. Elizabeth figured out he killed that guy. So Elizabeth feels not good about that. She's being very growly at Mark. Excuse you, lady. He just murdered a man. This is you. He just murdered a man in an elevator for threatening you and your daughter. He doesn't need your attitude. He needs to be thanked frequently and in various positions. Oh, my God. Damn, okay. I guess you don't feel conflicted about the Mark killing the guy situation because he needs to be thanked frequently and in various positions. But I understand her confliction. You know what I just realized? Oops. Hello? All right, so I've scrolled back like a month, good God, to talk about Yar because you said, because he needs to be thanked frequently and in various positions from their normal narrative device and do something different. So, yeah. Yeah, Mark's tumor's back. Elizabeth figured out he killed that guy. So Elizabeth feels not good about that. She's being very growly at Mark. Excuse you, lady. He just murdered a man. This is you. He just murdered a man in an elevator for threatening you and your daughter. He doesn't need your attitude. He needs to be thanked frequently and in various positions. Oh, my God. Damn, okay. I guess you don't feel conflicted about the Mark killing the guy situation because he needs to be thanked frequently and in various positions. But I understand her confliction. You know what I just realized? Oops. Gosh. Pippin was like making love to me while I was sitting here, and I was trying to push him out of the way to record this, and it had me hitting buttons all over. But I think my recording is still good. So what I realized is that however long years later House came about, they did the same storyline. Remember? Chase and Girly. Like Alice said, I can't think of her last name for some reason. But, remember? He kills the dictator, and they end up divorcing over it. Remember that? She's not happy with him. So, anyways, yeah. So, same storyline probably happened on Grey's Anatomy and Chicago Med and some hospital show in the other Chicago Hope was one back in the day. There's probably some back in the 70s that I can't name. I don't know their names. So yeah. Anyways, and now Carla died. Yeah. So that is horrible. That actress was on Ally McBeal. She was notoriously a raging bitch on set. And apparently on ER, she also was. But they also wanted to do something different with Benton's storyline. So I don't know that it all had to do with the actress that they killed her off. But I do not remember how long. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. But anyways, yes, Carla died. And then you've probably seen he ends up in a situation with the stepfather. So yeah, that was very sad, but also very, very good for Benton's character arc. Luca is being a jerk to Abby about John. Oh yeah, things are happening here in season 8. Yeah, well, Luca and John go back and forth about Abby a lot. I love Abby, but I don't know if she's worth the two of them fighting over. Several episodes ago, they won't kill off Mark. This is you. They won't kill off Mark until he has a chance to spend some time with Rachel. ER season 8. What if Rachel moves to Chicago? Yeah. Different actress, but it looks totally different. But good actress. It's some good storylines come out of Rachel. She is a hot fucking mess. Also, Elizabeth just isn't great at being a stepmother to a teenage girl, let alone a teenage girl with problems. So, I mean, it's hard to go from, like, being a first-time mom of a baby to suddenly having a teenage girl you barely know move in with you and have to be her mom, too. I don't blame her on that. That's hard. But Rachel, I mean, it was a different era, because if that happened now, the first thing Mark would do would be to put that girl into counseling. Yes, you can come stay here. You have to go to counseling every week. Mandatory, or you're going back to your mom's, right? Then you wrote in all capital letters, Susan. Oh my God, Susan has returned. Yes, Susan has returned. Isn't it fucking awesome? It's fucking awesome. Love it. I love it. She's great. I love her. Oh no. Oh, you wrote, oh no, because Mark and Elizabeth are having problems and he's probably dying again from another tumor. Of course, he won't tell his wife about it. Well, what if he tells Susan? And then what if they kiss and ruin everything? Oh no, Susan. Wow, you skipped a ways ahead. Did you? No, I guess that happens pretty quick after Susan comes back. You know, I think maybe they just wanted to give all the people who wanted Mark and Susan together just that one kiss situation, just that one thing, and also they couldn't have him die without bringing her back. So, yeah. I believe the actress left originally to have a baby and then, like, raise a baby for a couple of years and, you know, left on good terms and was not at all like, I will never come back. Like, I will maybe come back someday. Sure, I'm open to that kind of deal. And I think when they knew, what they were doing with Mark, they were like, maybe now is the time to bring her back. But God, Mark and Elizabeth having problems is so rough. The end of everything. Rachel has to leave the house, right? He has to. She has to. Sorry, she has to leave the house. She brought drugs in. It doesn't matter whether they were her drugs or not. She brought drugs into the house and didn't even keep them someplace like she left them in a very easy to reach place when she has I know teenagers are stupid, but that's the thing. She didn't do it maliciously. She just was a stupid teenager who wasn't thinking. But you can't have that with the toddler in the house. She has to go back to Chicago. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I understand Mark doesn't want her to feel like he's choosing Ella over her, but I'm sorry. And you could be like, I love you. I know you didn't do this on purpose, but you're doing things where you're bringing drugs into the house when you have a baby sister here. And I think something's going on with you and you need help. But I can't let you live here with a baby that got a hold of drugs you brought into the house. And it has nothing to do with how much I love you. And maybe they could figure something else out. Maybe they've got somebody else in Chicago that doesn't have any children that she can go live with, and her and Mark can go to counseling together. And, she can have counseling and they can have family counseling and they can do all of this. And maybe she doesn't have to go back to her mother's, which sounds like a terrible situation. But she cannot stay in the house with Ella. And that's all there is to it. And I disagree with Mark on his choice. I understand why he was conflicted, but I disagree with his decision. But also, Elizabeth goes really over the top with it. But again, her child almost died. Her child almost died. But then he's a dumbass. He doesn't tell her about the cancer. God, he's so stupid. Oh, my God. All right, then you said, I love how Kiara is giving us the we tried really hard, but we weren't able to save her speech. Sorry, I had a cough. In season 8, they can show Susan giving it in Spanish with no translation, and it still has the same effect. Right? I love that. Yeah, it was great. It was really good. That was really cool. And then we do a quickie Buffy real quick. I'm on the episode of Buffy with Giles singing in the coffee shop with the earring. This is what I was waiting for. I was like, she loves Giles. And then you were like, I loved Unemployed Giles. You told me you loved Unemployed Giles. And I could not wait. It's oh my God. And he's like every unemployed midlife crisis dad who goes to play at a coffee shop. What's the song he plays? Oh my God. Hold on. Wait. Okay, I looked it up, and it looks like it was Behind Blue Eyes, and that, unemployed midlife crisis dad playing acoustic guitar in a coffee shop singing that song in the year, whatever it was in that season, the year 2000 or 2001, something, I don't know, early 2000s, yeah, totally, 100%, that's what that was. But beautiful and lovely, and yes, the earring on top of it. Because again, unemployed midlife crisis dad. Back to ER, and now John and Susan kissed. Right? I didn't hardcore ship them in the early days because Carter was too young, and she was really his superior, and that wouldn't have been okay. But I low-key shipped them. I at least wanted them to... In that Christmas episode, when her boyfriend pretty much just abandons everything and takes off, and Carter drives her home, and she gives him the present she was going to give her boyfriend, and he, gonna kiss her, and he almost kisses it. I just wanted them to kiss. I wanted them to kiss right there, and then for her to say, Carter, we can't do this. But I wanted the kiss, and they didn't give it to us. So years later, they give it to us. it's been like 2 weeks, so you have gone much farther at this point. So I'm sure you've seen the chemistry just isn't there for me. The chemistry they had when they were younger, but now it's a friendship chemistry to me, and I'm just, they're cute together, but I try to picture them having sex, and I'm like, I don't know. But I really like that they gave it the old college try, like the show. Like the show is like, let's do what the fans wanted us to do back in the day. Because if you weren't a Mark Susan shipper, you were a Susan Carter shipper. Nobody wanted her with that psychiatrist. Ugh. So anyways, but yeah, I saw your last text, so I know you've seen that they break up and how they break up, and it's stupid. But how they break up is dumb. But yeah, I'm glad that they decided to be friends. They're very good friends. And Peter is leaving. Yes. The custody fight is a really great storyline. You know what? Him finding out he knocked up this woman, and then she turns out to be kind of not so great of a lady. And then the baby's premature, and he's got to grow there. And then he goes on that thing where he goes to that backwater racist town and grows there, and then he finds out his kid can't hear, and he goes through that whole thing with the lady about cochlear implant or sign language or all of that stuff. And he learns sign language for his kid, and then Carla wants to take Reese to another country, and he's like, no, I know I don't spend 24/7 with him, but he's still my son. You can't do that. And then Carla dies, and he has to step up, and then the stepfather tries to take away, and then and in the meantime, he's kind of on and off with Cleo, and I do not like Cleo. Let me just say that. I do not like Cleo, but whatever. Peter seems to like her, and she's good with Reese. So the final episode, with it being a Christmas episode, they knew Mark was going to leave that season. So, yeah. I checking real quick to make sure you'd gotten that far. They knew Mark was going to leave that season, and they didn't want Anthony, whatever his last name is, and Eric LaSalle to have to share the spotlight on departing. So they decided to have Eric leave for the Christmas episode, have Benton be last episode then, and then Mark at the end, so that they could really give both of them their due. And I love it when they're around the Christmas tree in the new apartment and decorating and looking up at the Christmas lights and signing with Reese and him and Cleo and Reese. It's beautiful. I love it. So yeah. And then you said everything with Mark and Elizabeth and Rachel and the baby. Yeah, we just talked about that. The overdose. Had another brain scan, and they zoom in on his wedding ring that he took off, and of course he did, because he took off everything metal, but his wedding ring specifically. Yeah. You know what? Their directors are really good on this show. They have really good directors. Cinematographers and directors on this show are spot on. Okay, you said, we are going to the end of season 8, and Mark just had his last patient at the hospital, and now goddamn Chloe is back. Oh yeah, Chloe is back. Fuck Chloe. But yeah, Mark had his last episode, and it's the Hawaii thing is good. I'm really glad they gave Elizabeth and Mark and Ella and Rachel that time, and I like when wait. All right, I was just checking to make sure you'd gotten through, I liked that they gave the family, their own thing, and then he sends the letter to the hospital and everything like that. It's rough, but it's very, very, very well done. And that's all I have to say about that. Chloe is back. And then you said, In more interesting news, I may have kind of sort of written my very first short Sexy Times fan fiction about the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager. I have never seen Star Trek Voyager, but I know who the Doctor is, and I've seen a few of your tweets, and congratulations. Congratulations. That's what I have to say about that. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah, I'm so happy for you. You can't see my face. I grinning. Then you said you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Yes. I've seen all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have feelings about Coulson, but I'm going to guess you have feelings about Coulson because Jesse's feelings about Coulson are almost as much as Jesse's feelings about Giles. And in a very strange way, your taste in men seems to be Jessie's taste in men when she reached about 40. Now, when she watched ER when it first aired and she was in college, she was all about Doug Ross, and I know you were not about Doug Ross, but she was also younger. And so she still has feelings about him that have held over, but people she gets introduced to right around when she turned 40 onwards, or, which is when she watched Buffy for the first time, and when we were watching S.H.I.E.L.D. About 10 years ago. Coulson and Giles, that I'm going to take a guess. But I'm going to guess you also have Melinda May, right? Tell me you have the big crush on her. I had a crush on her when she was on ER, right? Yeah, because when she was Deb, didn't have a crush. When she was Jean May, when she came back, she was older, yes. And then Melinda May, fuck yes. I had a giant crush on Melinda May. Little crush on Fitzsimmons, both of them. Trip, when Trip is on, oh my God, all the things I would do to Trip. Trying to think who else on the show. I mean, anybody on the show, really, except for Ward. Although when Ward goes evil, I know he's a Nazi, but at least he's interesting. Anyways, you said, I think they're going to kill off Mark Green the same way they killed Agent Coulson and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because I'm on the episode The Letter, and he's in Hawaii, he's probably not coming home, and I can see the next episode is called On the Beach. Yeah. So yeah. And you have a cry emoji, and I feel you, girl. All right. Dr. Romano just got his arm fucking amputated by the helicopter. And I know that I saw a text pop up from you at some point, and it was, pause again. Yes, you have seen what happens to Romano. Helicopters and Romano do not mix, but okay, so when they're doing the whole thing with that was really exciting with the helicopter and up there on the thing, and then his arm. Oh my God, there was a super exciting moment, but holy fucking shit. Yeah, he's a fucking asshole, but he doesn't deserve that. No, nobody deserves to have their arm chopped off. Well, some people do. I can think of some people who do. But not just because he's an asshole doctor. There are a lot of asshole doctors. They don't all deserve to have their arms chopped off. Then you said, oh my God, and now they have Elizabeth back in the hospital and in the elevator, and they are playing Piano Man, the song she and Mark were singing when John and Lucy got stabbed. I know! Girl, dude, I know. What the hell? What the fucking hell? Yeah, okay. Why would they do that to us? Why? Yeah, so, you saw the smallpox one. We're into a spot where you and I were actually texting with each other. And I'm just going to scroll through, although I do, see that you were like, poor Romano, first he loses his arm and now you won't have his babies. I will not have his babies, no. And also, did you say you saw Dr. Dave get fired? Because, yeah, that's Yep, you did, and that's just some bullshit. I felt like they never knew what to do with his character. But that is a really good actor, and he's in 2 episodes of SVU that are honestly like some of the best episodes of SVU. I don't know that that has anything to do with him, but he is very good in them. Lindsay is, we're talking about Lindsay. And you said from Angel. I do think he is the least evil person at the law firm for whatever that's worth. If you think that Christian Kane is pretty, please watch Leverage. You should watch Leverage. You should watch Leverage anyways. It is just ridiculous, fun, found family antics. Where the bad guys become the good guys. Kind of 18 meets Ocean's 11. But with Christian Kane and Aldous Hodge and some other people you'll like. It's very good. So you will like. And yep, Pratt, Gallant, okay. Now you know what's going on with Dawn. You like her well enough, you said. You did not at first because you thought she was going to be something evil, but now she's just annoying, which is correct. She's an annoying little sister. Here we go. So now on ER, John's gamma died, and he's being very rude to Abby, who just learned her brother is alive. Like, I get you're in pain, dude, but she needs to go to him. Yes. Dude, his feelings about his gamma, you know. I loved his gamma. I mean, she was uptight, but also wonderful. I loved her. She's great. Okay. And yeah, her brother is alive. I love the actor who is her brother. Tom Everett Scott. That's his name. Tom Everett Scott. I had to think about it for a second. Yeah. Okay. So he's great. Then you said Romano got his arm removed again on purpose this time, and now it's the season finale and John is in Africa. Yeah, interesting that, Luca and John, like, they become friends while they're in Africa together, and I really enjoy it. I like it. I like the way they bond with each other, and I like the growth it gives both of their characters. So, good for them. You said, John and Luca in Africa. At first, I was so excited because, hey, look, it's my guys, and they have beards, and they're going on an adventure. And then they almost got shot, and now they're upset, and maybe Luca isn't coming home, and it's just a lot. Did they just kill off Luca? Oh, no, they did not kill him off. They did not. They did not kill him off, but they make you think it, and it is. Woo! It's good stuff. It's good TV. The better news on ER, I've met Neela. I knew you were going to like Neela. Neela is fantastic. I fucking love her. She's great. I am not crushing. I don't have a crush on her, and maybe it's because I was already so old by the time I saw those seasons, because I stopped watching after Dr. Green died, so I didn't see any of that stuff until I was in my 30s probably, or at least 30. I don't know, she felt young to me, but I still love her. She is fantastic. And that means you've gotten Morris and Ray, and we will talk about them more in a little bit, but not right this moment. You said Linda Cardellini is on ER, proving once again that all the actors my mother had strong feelings about have been on ER. She could not stand Linda Cardellini, even though the character seems fine so far. Yeah, I don't know why. I get why she didn't like Elizabeth Mitchell, because her character was gay, and also her character talked like a counselor, like this, in this voice. So yeah, I get that. But Linda Cardellini's character is a hot mess, but she's a good person, and she's doing her best. She has good storylines. I love her. If you have not seen Freaks and Geeks, I highly recommend it. It's only 13 episodes, and it's great. She's great in it. She's amazing. That show is amazing. Freaks and Geeks. It's very good. What was the other show I recommend you watch? Leverage, which is 5 seasons, so take you longer to get through, but it's short season, so it's like 13 episode seasons or something. I don't know. And then it knows it knew it was going to end, so it ended on a good note. And Freaks and Geeks was one of those shows like Firefly that they kept changing what day and time slot it was going to be on, and they never gave it a goddamn chance. And then later it got this like cult following and became this big thing. Like once it came out on DVD, it like just like Firefly, same thing. So yeah, it will only last a half a season, but they knew they were going to be canceled, so they also ended on a good note. So Leverage, Freaks and Geeks, those are my recommendations for the day. Looks like our tax conversations are up to January 30th. So there's not that many after this. And you know what? No, I'll come back. I'll do some more later. It's only like a week's worth. I'll do it on a later time. Because you've gotten into the young squad years, and some stuff is going to happen. So yeah. And if you're a fan of Darcy Lewis from all the Avengers, Thor movies and TV shows and all that stuff. Her name is Kat Dennings. Keep a lookout for her to have a storyline with Ray. Ray, you idiot. You idiot boy. That's what I have to say about that. Okie doke. Peace.